Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to work on a 3-strand necklace using my April Bargain Bead Box Spring Blossoms. Let's turn down and I'll show you what I plan on doing. As you can see, we have a nice big pile of beads here, as well as my little thing of chain. Now what we're going to do is, well, here's my lobster claw. And we have a couple of little rings. These are out of my stash. And some jump rings. Also out of my stash are all these spacers. But trying to find all the goodies so that they're not in our way here. So anyway, I will also need to get some more jump rings to put the chain onto the rings. But what the rings are to hold our 3 strands. We're going to have them on either side of our strands. And then the strands are going to be, these are the pink adventurine. We're going to put that in the middle. Have a spacer. 3 of the little multicolored crystals. Another spacer. Rose quartz. And then spacer. 3 little guys. Spacer. And the adventurine. Now, I have more of the crystals and the rose quartz and these little pink beads if we need them, but I do not have any more of the pink adventurine. So the pink adventurine is going to be what is going to establish how long this necklace becomes. So we're going to get some beading wire out. I am going to use my pink rhodochrosite soft flex medium, and we're just going to string this up, and then we'll continue to do that with each row after that, making them be smaller because this is going to be the longest row, the one with the adventurine. And then the next row is going to be the rose quartz with the 3 pieces and spacers. And then it will have these little guys, the rose and gold, the pink and gold, as its secondary. The 3rd strand is not going to have a secondary. It's all going to be the pink with the crystals between. So what we're going to do right now is just pull out the adventurine. And we will start stringing with what we have here. And we're going to start, like I say, with the we're going to start with 3 of the little crystals, even though they're small and they probably won't take our cord, our wire a second time. We want the small ones mainly up towards the top when they connect to the ring so that they don't bunch into each other. So we're going to do it this way, and then we'll have a spacer and a rose quartz up here at the top, which gives us a little more length considering that our adventurine is, like I say, a limited amount. So this is what our pattern is going to look like with, come here, baby. And like I say, this is going to be our bottom strand. The other 2 strands will be shorter. So just like this. And on down the line until we get all the adventurine on and then end with this. Now this is going to be our middle bead on this bottom strand. We got 3 more of these to go up this side. So like I say, we'll just keep going on this pattern until we finish this off, and then we will put bead stoppers on this one, cut it loose, put bead stoppers on it, and then we will start working on the second one, all the while remembering that we have to keep them so that they will go together well. This one will probably, the next line we'll probably want to be about an inch shorter than this one, and then the third one an inch shorter yet. Last rose quartz. Okie dokie. So that's this strand. Isn't that pretty? And it is about 12 inches. So we're going to want our next one to be about 11 inches, and then 10 for the final. So I'm going to bead stop this side, let it roll down, bead stopper here, and then we're going to cut the wire. You'll notice I'm leaving quite a bit of extra wire, probably an inch or two on either side. That is because I don't like to fight with my crimp tubes when I'm starting to crimp these together. So we'll put this strand up here. It's done. And then we will start on our next strand, which is to do the rose quartz and the little pinks. Now I may end up needing some more rose quartz. I only have 6 here. I think I used more than I had originally planned up above, but that's all right. And then we will get some more if we need them, because I do have more in the bag where the stuff came, along with these. There's more of these and more of the little crystals. So I'm separating these a little bit so it'll be easier to put them together on this next one, so I don't have to go searching for things. There we go, all separated. So now we will pull some more wire out, get a bead stopper on it. Of course, I just dropped one on the floor, so I'm gonna have to pick that up in a bit. But we're gonna start stringing up our second row. So second row, we're going to start with 3 of these little guys again. Now, my original plan wasn't to start with these guys, but the thing is that when we hook it to the ring, we don't want the big giant ones up there, the bigger beads up there with these, because otherwise it's not gonna fall right. They're gonna all be trying to take up all the space up there. So, oh, I see I missed one of my little beads. That's all right, now I got it. So like I say, this is just going to go like this pattern all the way down with the little so quite similar to what the bottom row is going to be, except for we're going to have this next smaller beads there. And then, of course, like I say, on the third row, it's just going to be these little guys here, so that there will not be any secondary size. Once we get all of these rose quartz on, and then we will measure it and see if we need to get some more rose quartz out. Come on, baby. Well, that one doesn't want to go on, obviously, so we'll just choose a different one. You'll notice I'm not paying attention to the little guys. They're all very bright and pretty, so it doesn't matter to me which ones go where. I do believe we are going to need to get some more rose quartz out because this is not looking like it's going to be long enough. Like I say, since this one's 12, we want this one to be about 11. So I don't need those right now. And I'd say we're going to need some more of those for that last row too. But let's find out how we're doing here. Okay, that should be where we would stop if we had the right amount. 10.5. The next one would be more than that. These do not hold as tight, so I'm going to switch this to over here and then put the little one down here. We want to compare these two rows and see how they're doing to each other. Well, what was this one again? 12, little over 12. This one is a little over 10 right now, I think. Okay, we're going to see where we're going to land at if we do one more whole turn worth of stuff. So that would be the rose quartz right now. Come on, where's your hole? Come on, one of you, come on. There we go. Okay. Now it is, now it's almost 12, which would be about the same length as the other one, I think. Let's see what we got here. That's not got enough length between them, I don't think. Well, you know what? I'm going to leave it like this, and I think I'll probably, in the end up taking off some of the little crystals on this one, just so that we can get some different length going, because we need that. This is only about a ½ inch between them, and I want their hang to be all right. So see, as they sit, they're more or less going to bump into each other. Well, we'll see what happens. Let's put these aside, and we're going to go on to our next strand. So let's get the wire out for the third one. We'll get started on it, though we're going to need to get some more beads out, especially the little guys. I suspect what we're going to have to do is take some of these little guys out of our second strand so it lays a little bit higher. Not 4 rows, only 3. You know, I'm at that spot where I need extra more little beads. Before I get those out, I'm thinking I'm going to remeasure these. I've got them together. Forgot I did that. This is a little over 12, maybe 12 1/4 for the long strand. So we want about 11 1/4 for this strand. And it's at about 11 1/2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of the little beads off either side here. And then we'll see how long it is. If it's all right, then it's fine. We're done with it. And if it still needs more off, I will take off that last little bead on this side. So now let's see how long it is. About 11 1/4, about where I want it. So I think we can leave it like that. So I'll put those back aside, and I'll use the little ones I just took off. Of course, that still means I still have to get more out, because there's quite a few more that I need. fact, let's go ahead and get that out and out. And dimes to dollars, I'm going to need some more of the pink ones, so we'll get those out too. Okay, I got some more out. So we'll get going on these. Now we'll want this one about an inch shorter than the middle one. So this one needs to be about 10 1/4. I think we got a ways to go. So let's see how long we are right here, and then I will get some more spacers out. And we can do, we're not going to make it because that's going to be about 9, and we need 10 1/2 at the quarter at the way we're going, so I may have to adjust things some. So we'll see. So I got us a few more spacers out because we had run out of those as well. So one, two. Now if we were to follow the pattern of the others, we'd stop right here because they've ended and started and ended with the tinies. So, but that's only 9 1/4. That's an inch off of what we need. So we're going to have to adjust our other rows. So let's see what we can do here. So with this one, I think what we can do is take it off to right here and take off this one. We will probably need to take some off of the longer row as well. But this is the one we're working on right now. So we'll take it off right here. I think we probably can take some of the little ones off of the other row to get some more space. Okay, we're going to have to see what length we are now that we took some beads off this one. And it is 10 1/2. So now this one needs to be 11 1/2, which means we're probably going to have to take off at least the little beads. Yep, we'll take off to here. Maybe we'll leave the rose quartz on. Let's see what that leaves us at. Though I don't want too many big ones towards the top because, like I say, we have to put it on the ring, and taking those off could become a problem. So let's see where we're at with this one now. Oh, I didn't realize I left the rose quartz on the other side. So let's see we'll put this back on place on this side and see where we're at. Okay, big one is at 11 1/2. Secondary one is at 10 1/2. Last one is at 9. So we have to get that last half in there. But now that's not going to be too hard because we have extra stuff down here again. Okay, now we've got this way longer than it needs to be, so let's roll our beads down there and we will measure this out again now. I'm thinking we're probably either where we want to be or a little bit longer. 9.5. So we have 9.5, 10.5. We should have 11.5 with this one, and we do. Now we have to see how much of a problem it's going to be since we now have one big bead up there at the top with this one right here. Now that is the only one that has the big bead up there, so we might be perfectly fine. But here is our 3 strands, and we can now put these few odds and ends things back into their bags. This is how this now sits. Like so. In fact, I think I'm going to take and put them all on one stopper on each side so that I can hold it up and see how they're going to fall together. So we'll put this one on this side, then we'll take the 2 little ones off this side. I need to order me some more big ones. It looks like I've lost some of my bead stoppers. Okay, on there. Come on, baby. I think it's going to hang all right, but I think we actually could put a couple of the little beads back on this big one here. I don't think I'm going to put all 3, but maybe 1 or 2. We'll see what that looks like once I get them on. Okay. Now the big one's hanging down a little more than I want it to. So we can either take one more of these little beads off, or we have, looks like 3 beads left. We could put one more on, say, this middle strand. Maybe that's what we'll do. Even though that makes the pattern go off because it's now 4 instead of 3. I'm going to see what that looks like just the same. So let's hook these back up good and tight over on this side. Then we'll go over here and put that extra one on the middle one here. So now we'll hook this one back up so that they can okay. Now we'll see how well this hangs. That hangs just about perfectly, I think now. So now we have to hook it to our little rings here, all 3, and then we'll decide the length we want it to finish up at and gets the chain out to do that. Okay, now that we have this decided on how we got our beads I'll put on here, now it's time to hook this onto our little rings. Now these are little rings. We could put them on bigger rings if I can find a couple of bigger rings. I know I have some bronze ones, but I don't know about gold. Because frankly, a little bigger ring would be nice since there are 3 strands rather than just 1. Let me see if I can find some more. Okay, what I found are toggle clasps. And I think we will use these instead of these tiny things. I did have these lovely rings here, but they're bronze and we want the gold tones. See, these ones would have been nice too, but not quite right. So we're going to use these, and we can just hook our chain right up to this after we have our pieces hooked on. So we'll just take these off one at a time and just crimp them onto our ring. And since we're doing them one side at a time, we can just hook these all on. Now I've left a pretty good amount of wire here showing, but that is because we want these to have some movement. We don't want them to be stuck in one spot. This toggle wants, crimp wants to keep a sharp spot here. Just when I think I have it, it gets another spot. Okay. So now, yeah, I was afraid of that. See that the second cord won't go through these little ones, so we'll have to trim it off right here. And this is the outer one. So then we'll want to do this one next. So through the crimp tube, over the bar, come on baby, and back through our crimp tube. Now before you tighten this, you want to make sure it's in the right spot. This one has to go to this side. This is our middle one. This is where it crimps at. So put that in the middle and crimp and turn it and keep turning it. So there's number 2. We'll cut that one off, and then we'll get our third one on this side. And that is our little one. So we'll put our crimp tube on. This goes here on this last side. Go through our crimp tube. Roll it down so you can make sure you got about the same size. And crimp. So as soon as that crimp is right there in place where you want it, then crimp this last tube on this side. And turn. Okay, and then cut this side off. And just sliding right up to the crimp and cutting it off. Now we want to roll all these beads over to this side. Now one thing you can do if you are worried about the spacing here, you can always take and put like a couple of small round jump rings or something in between to make a gap for those. It's pretty easy to do actually. So now we're going to start with our little one here over the other ring. And through our crimp tube. Now I want to get it down there all the way. But we also want to compare it to the other side and make sure our crimp is in about the same spot, which it looks like it is right now. So we'll crimp this one. cut this extra line off. Just sliding your clippers all the way up to your crimp tube and click. So that is row number 1 on. Now we'll go to the second one. Crimp tube on here. Make sure we're on the right side. It has to, this is the, looks like this one could have been a little bit looser. But we want to go over here, and we want on the below that one, because that is our small top one. And we're gonna make sure it's about the same, and finish pulling it up because it's loose here. There we go. Now get our crimp pliers, crimp this baby. And see, I got that one a little looser than the other one. I don't think I can slide it up any though at this late date. Nope, she's not moving. So that one's going to be just a little bit bigger loop than the other one. Get it. Let's trim this extra wire off. I had quite a bit of extra that time. Okay. And lastly, we want our ones with our big beads. So put the crimp on. Get on a ring, making sure we're at the bottom, so that we're not in the wrong spot. Through the crimp tube and pull her up. Now if you got it about where you want it, you can crimp it. You stop. There we go. Pull her tight. Make sure she's not going to lose it. Then you want to cut that last little bit off. And there we have our necklace all strung up on its hooks. Next step is to put the chain on. First we have to decide how long we want the chain to be. So let's verify how long our necklace is at the top loop. We're measuring this. This is going to be the one closest to your throat. These are just extra things. So take this out, and from the top of that loop to the top of this one, we're at almost 12 inches. So if we want this, say 24, we want 2 6-inch pieces of chain. That sounds good to me. So we'll get 2 6-inch pieces of chain out. Now, because this is just chain, we don't have to worry about anything, but if this, normally see the hole is going this way, you would have to be concerned maybe with that. So we want 2 6-inch pieces. So we could just cut 12 in half. Put this right here. Oh, that is stainless steel chain. Get the heavy duty clippers out. There we go. I'll put the rest of the chain back in its baggie. And cut this in half. So I'm just going to get my beading all out. Would you stop? And then we go down to the bottom. And cut this last link off. Okay, where's the link I cut? There it is. Okie dokie. Now that we have that cut, we need to get some jump rings. I've got one little one for hanging my lobster claw onto the chain, but I didn't think to get some more out, so we'll get a few jump rings out and I'll be right back. Okay, got our jump rings, so let's open this baby up. Now actually, I think this could use some thicker chain, a more sturdy, because this is a little delicate looking on here. But that was the chain that came with the bargain bead box. But as I say, it feels too delicate to me for the rest of the chain. For the rest of it, it needs a little something more heavy duty. I don't think there's enough of this. That would work nicely, but there's not. This is the biggest piece I have, so it's probably about a little over 6 inches, maybe. Yeah, we need twice this. So this is not going to work here. Which is a pity, because it would have been a nice piece. Now I have this, and it's a little bit thicker. But I'd like something a little bit more yet, I think. Let's see. That's silver. This is silver too. This is from a different set of come here, you. I think you may be what I want. Okay, since I think that chain is too slim, I'm going to switch it to this one. And we'll put these other pieces back into the baggie with our bargain bead box stuff. Come on, you. Okay. And I'm going to cut 6 inches of this instead. So I think it will look better. It's a sturdier chain. So 6 is right here. And right here. So I would have preferred a nice Rolo chain, but the only Rolo chains I had were not that thick, and I wanted something heavier because with the 3 strands it needs something to say, hey, here I am, look at me. So let's get this little guy onto here. Hopefully it won't give me any trouble. Come on, you. Normally I'd say put the smaller thing on first, but this jump ring's already on here, so I was hoping I could just put it right onto the jump ring, but it's not really cooperating really well. So I may have to take the jump ring off so that I can put the chain on and then the jump ring onto the chain. We'll see. I'll try it a couple more times first. It's saying no. So let's see if we can get this. Okay. Okay. Come on, you. Don't be difficult here. There we go. That side's on. Now we'll open up this second jump ring. Put the chain on first. Then onto the and close her up. Now this isn't closing really tightly at first, so that's why I'm wiggling it back and forth with a slight, tiny, just a slight pressure forward, so that I'm not killing it. But there we go. And now we need to put on our lobster claw and our jump ring. So we will see if this jump ring will even go through this, because this is a bigger diameter. If not, we may have to double jump ring it. I'm hoping it will go through. It did. Good. So this is where our lobster claw hooks onto, of course. And then we're going to get this small one over here. Open it up. And put our lobster claw on. Now this is a pretty good sized lobster claw. It's 15 millimeters because, well, I'm getting older And I find these large ones so much easier to work with than the tiny ones. So there we go. Our necklace is finished. Like I say, if you feel it needs some division between our pieces here, you can take and get some jump rings to put on between them. Makes it sort of decorative, as well as especially if you have like twisted jump rings or some of those. That one's a little tighter than I like it, but there we go. There's our necklace all finished. I think it turned out really pretty. I like it. So there we go. There it is, our pretty 3-strand necklace made from our beads from our bargain bead box for April spring blossoms. Just hang like this. It's not really the shirt to wear with this, but too much patterning to see what it looks like, but there it is. Isn't that pretty? I think it turned out really nicely. I'm pleased with it. I hope you like it too, and I hope you enjoyed making it with me. Again, this is using the bargain bead box for spring, or for April's spring blossoms, and this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.